You're listening to RTI Audio, powered by Rocky Top Insider. This is Pancakes and Bacon with VFL, Kyler Kerbyson, and Reed Bacon.
Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Pancakes and Bacon. I'm your host, as always, Kyler Kerbyson, joined with Reed Bacon. We got to end a year one. I was going to say great podcast. I think our banter will be great, but the subject that we were talking about might not be. Before we get into everything, if you guys are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate, review, download, re-download, follow us on all those listening platforms. Follow us on social media. We're going to talk about a game that didn't look the prettiest in the world. We're going to talk about some other bowl games around the country and coming up. But first, Reed, how we doing, bud?
Happy New Year, Kyler. Happy New Year.
Hey, we're gonna be happy here. We're gonna be a happy bunch. It is happy
That bowl game is in 2025. We are now in 2026. So I want to wish everyone a very happy and blessed and healthy and prosperous 2026. And you did say this is our end of the year pod. I'm guessing we'll probably do one more to talk transfer portal into the season, because I know there's going to be a lot of transfer portal stuff, which we'll talk a little bit about that now. But I'm guessing we'll probably do one more for the season ends, right?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe one more just to kind of
wrap put a bow. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I do just have to ask, how are you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Got some days off this week, so it's nice. Just another week of some time at home.
Nice. Good. Okay. Well, I was trying to sit here and think I was going to ask you what your favorite – I always like to ask what your favorite 2 or 3 gifts are for Christmas, but you already – and then I was thinking, I was like, well, we talked Christmas gifts, but that's because you had your Christmas beforehand. Mm-hmm. So I'll bring it up that this is a new Tennessee hat that Austin got me. Yeah, Austin got me. You know, it's going to look better when I lose weight, which I've been saying that for 3 years on the podcast now.
Everything looks better with a little less LBs on you.
Yeah. So, I got home from Memphis and stepped on the scale, and it said 236.7.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's the heaviest I've ever been. I absolutely could have helped Tennessee stop one of those third downs if they put me in linebacker. It would have been 1 or 2 plays, because I would have gone in there kamikaze and, probably knocked myself out and felt horrendous.
Maybe 1 play.
Yeah.
Whenever we have these conversations, the one part that I bring up, it's like, okay, like I can remember the technique, or I can give the I don't give a shit about my body, that you kind of need in football.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the ligaments will hold up. Like, I have not been running and working out and doing the things you need to do beforehand, because I could easily see a pulled muscle. I could easily see a torn ligament. I could easily see a rolled something. And that's the biggest fear of, give me 1 play, I could do it. It's like you take 1 step and that Achilles just bursts and you're out.
Well, it's funny. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. Megan has been after me for a year now, wanting to race. And I'm like, Megan, yes. And she was like, I want to race. I think I can beat you. I said, babe, I was never the fastest. I'm definitely not fast now. I said, but you're not going to beat me. I've seen you run, and you're not going to beat me. Well, last year, or I'm sorry. Well, technically, yeah, last year. But this fall, probably a couple months ago, it was probably October, we woke up one Saturday morning, went and had a nice breakfast over at Ham and Goodies, and then we went to Sacred Heart because I was going to do some cardio and stuff like that, and we were going to toss the pigskin around, just get out and about. And so we raced 3 times. I beat her all 3 times. But the moral of the story is on the third one, I pulled my right hamstring.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of funny because I always remember being younger and like old people, well, what I thought were older people having this conversation. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that even mean? And then as I'm finishing the race, I feel the hamstring get tight and I stop right before it's like a full pull. And it was really sore for a couple of days, like really tight for a couple of days, but all I could do was just laugh. I was just laughing. I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to this. Yeah, I get with you on ligaments, but that's why I said like I could get in there and help them stop a third or fourth down because like I can't go sideline to sideline. So I'm just gonna go hit a Illinois guard as hard as I can, and we'll see what.
Yeah, and then he's down blocking, so you're actually on the opposite side of the power play, and you miss the tackle. Yeah, I get it.
But anyway, so got this new hat from Austin. Figured I'd pull it out today because I had bedhead.
That looks even better.
Yeah, so instead of doing bedhead, I figured I would just go ahead and throw the hat on. I also have this new Holston Hills hoodie, but this wasn't a gift. I just bought it for myself when I was doing shopping for others.
Well, it's honestly great because it looks like it was older. Like I assumed it was an old hoodie.
No, it's just their vibe this year, which that's why when I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that hoodie vibe because I think I got one of their hoodies a couple years back, 4, 5, 6 years ago, but all the other ones since then I haven't really liked. But so this one's dope. So I went ahead and snagged one while I was doing shopping for other people. Anyways, I'm gonna just prompt you with this because I know people don't care. What? Oh yeah. Dang, you're so good, dude. You're so good to me.
I just love you, buddy.
You're just so good to me. Yes, bacon junk removal. Hey, surprisingly, I can say it now because we made it here, but like surprisingly, December, man, I owe a lot of people a lot of thanks because it was a pretty good month considering with everything going on with holidays and people being sick and traveling and just all that the holidays bring. It was a pretty good month. Had some really cool jobs. Yesterday, no hyperbole, probably saw the coolest backyard I've ever seen in my life, and I will post it at some point on my Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. But yeah, bacon junk removal. We're going into 2026. I could not be more excited to see what 2026 holds. So please reach out to us. We would love the opportunity to help. And thank you for bringing that up, Kyler.
You're welcome.
That's what a lunch at the picnic will get for you right there.
That's right. That is exactly right. That's what a nice club sandwich will get for you.
Yeah, right there. A nice reminder. A club sandwich equals a nice reminder. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to prompt you with this, and then I'm going to let you go. And then I got a lot to say about this, but I didn't know how I was going to feel going into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Then the game comes on, and I'm like, man, this is cool. Like, I did miss watching the boys a little bit. I said that I was ready for the season to be over, but it was cool to see them on TV again. And I didn't know if we were going to win or lose. I kind of had a feeling that we would probably win, but I really didn't know. I didn't think we'd blow them out, but I thought we would maybe have the ball last and score. And then you start watching it, and you're like, whoa, this is not ideal, Bob. Mm-hmm. So I found myself just getting really, really disgusted and really mad. It prompted me when I got on Xbox Live later and was talking with some of the guys, and we were talking about just one thing led to another. We were talking about what are some of our most hurtful or the losses that stuck with us the longest. And thinking about the losses for Tennessee sports that have stuck with me the longest over the years, it truly comes down to the games that we going into the game should have won, or we played well enough and we had the lead and we choked it away that we should have won. For example, like this year's Oklahoma game shouldn't be that big of a deal, but that one still is one that like really, really made me mad. Vanderbilt, not so much because of the Oklahoma loss, and I think the Vanderbilt just demoralized me. This one I was pretty pissed, like after that night and even the next day yesterday, because we're recording on January 1st in the morning of it. So I'm not going to get back into some of those other ones, but it's like, for example, like Mount Cody, that block, that hurt, but like that one doesn't stick with me because we didn't need to be in that game. We were the underdog and we fought hard. Even to bring it to this year's Georgia game, like that one really hurt. I think it maybe hurts a little bit more now than it did at time, but at that time I was like, yo, like we can play with anybody. We were one kick away. Like this is awesome. Now, obviously we see how the season ended, but I just was really, to wrap all this up to hear what your thoughts, like I was really disgusted by not only the loss, but how it looked to an 8-4 Illinois team. And no disrespect to them. I mean, I think both those teams are pretty evenly matched. I think if we played 10 times, then you're probably looking at a good 10 round fight. But the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to let you jump into it, is like, in my opinion, and this is where I need you to tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's acceptable for Tennessee to lose the way they did year 5 into Heupel's regime. I'm okay with the loss, but it shouldn't be that grotesque on defense. But I'll just stop there, and then I'll hear what you got to say for the whole overarching game.
Yeah, I was upset. There were a lot of plays that I thought guys didn't execute like they should. But I didn't have a lot of expectations going into the game. I was like, let me just try and enjoy watching the guys play again. But as I went further into it and as the game kept going on and the more that I thought about it, it's like, why am I getting mad at this defense again? I said it 2 months ago that we cannot depend on the defense. So why am I getting mad again? Because I was getting mad during the game. I was mad after the game, mad yesterday, mad rewatching it. Like, God, like, I just hate what this defense is doing. I really don't like it. That was the exact same thing I said 2 months ago. So why did I set my expectations somewhere when I shouldn't have? Especially when we didn't have a defensive coordinator. Like, the linebacker coach was our defensive coordinator for the day. The rotation, the guys playing wasn't the same. So if you're telling me, hey, 2 months ago in October, you thought your defense was really bad and you weren't going to be able to depend on them, and then I'm going to take away your defensive coordinator, and I'm going to take away 3 defensive linemen, and I'm going to take away a linebacker, and I'm going to take away your starting corner, and I'm going to take away a safety, and I'm going to take away another backup. Now how's your defense going to be? Like, they're going to be even fucking worse. Like, this defense is going to let up 50 points. But I didn't think about that. I wasn't thinking about all of these things happening before the game started. And then we get into it, and then I'm realizing, oh, yeah, Tim Banks isn't there. Oh, yeah, he's, who's calling the fucking plays? And they're like, oh, linebacker coach. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, Dominique Bailey's playing a fucking lot. I'm like, I like Dominique Bailey, but he's getting 90% of the snaps. Oh, we're really not rotating like we were before. Oh, look at that. It's Jordan Ross and Hobbs at defensive end. Oh, yeah, Joshua Josephs isn't here. I just started like going through that, and I'm like, all right, well, can't expect much from the defense, right? There's still things that I don't like because I think of it from a coaching perspective of like, why the hell are you doing that? Why are you ducking your head? Why are you using bad technique or whatever that might be? And then it goes over to the offensive side of the ball. And that's where my real frustration is I just like I don't know what was happening out there with those guys, but it felt like Joey wasn't playing the same as he usually does to me. And I think that made the biggest difference. Am I pissed that we lost to Illinois? Not necessarily, because like you said at the very beginning, it's a bowl game that doesn't count towards a lot, and we're missing a lot of pieces. So it's not a real testament to the 2025 football team. But I want more out of year 5. Like I just do. And I would say I'm more upset with Oklahoma and Vanderbilt than I am this one.
Sure, absolutely. No, that's understandable.
So this one doesn't feel as much. Like I'm not going to remember this loss. I remember the Purdue loss because of how we lost.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't remember this one. This one will kind of go down as like our win versus Nebraska in 2016. Like, okay, cool. Like we had a chance to be in the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Side note, very small side note. I can't stand when people say bowl games don't matter. People don't watch them. These players don't care. That's not true. I've been hearing that for 10 years now. Mad respect to Jalen McMurray. Dude, you're a dog. He played super hard this year. I love to see that. These guys care. As fans, we care. You know why? Because we watched. You and I got mad. So, yeah, I'm not saying that you and I are going to remember this one. But as a competitor, you want to win every time you step out on the field. So I'm not like putting way too much stock into losing the Music City Bowl. But, like, I'm also not going to poo-poo it and be like, it doesn't matter. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm not like, hey, I have a different opinion on this team or on Coach Heupel because of this game. Like, I get it if somebody says that because of the Vandy game. I get that. But because of this game, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold as much weight to me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, so for me, I kind of two things before getting into the overarching. As bad as the defense was, they'd only given up 10 points at half. And this is a Heupel offense that's supposed to score a lot of points that we've seen score a lot of points. I get it. We don't have Chris Brazzell. We don't have some different people.
I mean, they only had 3 drives in the first half.
Right. And which is
so
what
like they scored a touchdown, they punted, and then they kicked a field goal.
Which is what
so
teams
like
do.
2 of your 3 drives you were scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like,
well,
that like you're doing a fucking horrible job. I mean, who did who did the best job is Bielema.
That's what I was
like. I know the recipe for us to be in a good position to win this game, and it's run the fucking ball, run the clock, keep the ball out of their hands, and play good defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, and that's what I was going to get to. Like a lot of these teams. By the way, I had to take the hat off. I was starting to get itchy head. Sorry. So I just got bad head. So here's the deal. It's what Clark Lee did to us. It's what Brent Venables knew he was going to do to us. It's what other teams have tried to do to us, but we would beat them because we were just more talented or better. It's what Georgia did to us in the second half. And that's just not what they do to Tennessee. I mean, anytime those coaches go up against good offenses, like that's what you're trying to do. Hell, that's what Tennessee tries to do: ground and pound, keep the ball, whatever the case might be, win it in the trenches. Anyways, so yeah, as bad as the defense was, it's like, well, it's still only 10-7, should be 10-10, and then at the end of the game, it's like, well, we gave them 7 on a strip sack, fumble. So it's like, once again, there could be an argument as bad as the defense was, and it was pathetic to watch. Like, you would still think Heupel could put up, 40. You know what I mean? I'm just talking like if we're just looking back on like a year 5 and being like, well, what we saw the first couple years to now, it's like, yeah, who cares if the defense can't make a stop? But like you said, Illinois and that coaching staff did a really good job. Mm-hmm. To go down the thought process of like, yeah, we don't have this guy, we don't have this guy, we don't have this guy. It's like I didn't want to do that for 2 reasons, because Illinois doesn't have some of their best players. I mean, they didn't have the sack leader for the Big Ten in this game. But the other thing is too, and I think it's a great point that you made about rotation, because rotation is so big. Like a B+ player, when he's fresh and gets to rotate in, can jump up to an A- player. But a B+ player that has to play 80 plays a game or 60 plays a game or 70 plays a game, like by the end of it, he's a C-. It is what it is.
Also, every defensive player we have is not used to playing that many snaps.
Sure.
Like Ty Redmond, maybe, Idris Farouk, probably, are the only 2 people on defense 2 days ago that were probably used to playing that many snaps.
Yeah.
Everybody else, T-Lander, Edwin, Beasley, freaking William Wright, Dominique Bailey, Ross, Hobbs, every single one of those guys rotated way more during the season than they did in this bowl game. And I'm sure that had an effect on them. They played more snaps in this game than they did any other game.
Yeah, I mean, and
they were bad in the other games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I get that. I get that, but from another angle to that, another side point. See, I would look at it and be like, okay, the linebackers were only missing Arian Carter, and he missed a couple games, so they're used to only being Edwin, T-Lander, Jordan Pilati, Ben Bolton, Jaden Harmon. So like I don't give the linebackers that much of a break. Now D-line, you don't have Moy, but you didn't have him a lot of the time. Joshua Joseph, I mean, he's an outside guy, so he doesn't really affect the D tackles. So I hear you, but then I still see that there's an argument to be made. And let me finish this. Let me land this plane here. I'm watching the game, and we can agree to disagree about the certain amount of plays and rotation, stuff like that. I get that they're still probably on there more than normal if we looked at it like snaps this game compared to other games. So, But you're still there, and you still have Tyree West, Dominic Bailey, Bryson Eason, and either Jordan Ross or Caleb Herring on the D-line. That still should be some pretty damn good players. Mm-hmm. Then you still have your 3 starting or rotation pieces, linebackers, and then you have your starting safeties. And for it to look like it did on the run game, especially late in downs, I mean, Kyler, when it was 3rd and short or 4th and short, I forget if it was 3rd and short or 4th and short, but when they turn around and do a simple fullback dive, not only do they get it,
4th and 1.
Not only do they get it, but he is not really touched until like 5 or 6 yards downfield. That's when I was like, yo, this is brutal.
Yeah. This is and Idris missed the tackle by ducking his head. So
and I said this is brutal that happens. Like, this is pathetic. Now, it was also pathetic that they jumped off sides. I mean, how simple and routine is that? I mean, we ran that play all the time at Catholic, and it worked all the time because we were playing teams that were not as disciplined as us. We would call it in. It was freeze play. You go up, hut, they jump, free 5 yards. And it was like the guys that, and I get it, they're wanting to make a big play, they're wanting to make a stop, they're playing hard, but you can't just, it's that argument of like, well, we lost again, but we played hard. It's like, yeah, after a certain time, like, I don't give a shit if you played hard. Like, you're supposed to win the game. So it's like, I get that they're playing hard and want to make a play, but like, guys, Dominic Bailey, Bryson Eason, Tyree West, you're all like 30 years old and you're all right in front of the ball. You can't jump off sides.
Yeah, so, it's like you know, you say it over and over when you see guys give effort. You're like, I can win football games with that guy because he gives effort. He gives effort. But if you aren't fucking locked in, if it is not locked in your fucking brain, then you ain't gonna help me at all. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a shit how much effort you're doing. If you're not locked in, there's nothing happening. So
yeah, that's why it's a very fine line of like, oh, these guys play hard. I respect that, because that only lasts about a week or two. And then by the 3rd week, you're like, all right, like thanks for playing hard, but like we're not good enough. We're not winning. So you know what I mean. The overarching though, and we can still talk about some different plays and some different stuff. I mean, obviously the kick return was a super dope play. I felt like I was watching it's sad, but I felt like Luke Altmaier in Illinois, I was treating them like they were Tom Brady Patriots, Peyton Manning, Colts, Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. Like, oh, we left them too much time. It's like, that's not a great place to be when we're worried about an Illinois offense.
Listen, I know what you're saying, that you were thinking about him like that. And yes, those quarterbacks are good in that situation, but those quarterbacks are fantastic in the 2-minute situation. That is the too much time. A 4-minute situation is totally different. You play it completely different than you do a 2-minute. And the best teams in a 4-minute situation are running football teams that can run the fucking ball. And that's exactly what Bielema is. And it was like we gave them the exact thing he wanted. Like,
I agree.
As soon it was, hey, we scored, we're kicking off to them, he's thinking in his head, either they score quick, or if they run the ball and run time off and then score, that's bad for us. That is very bad for us. We wouldn't think that way if it was on our side. If we had the lead and we're kicking off to them with a little bit over 4, we'd be like, stop them. It doesn't matter. Hey, if they score, whatever it is, we just need to stop them. It's not like we have enough time. We'll have enough time. But Bielema's like, if we have under 2 minutes, I don't know if my team can do this. That ended up being the perfect situation for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I tweeted out when they scored, I was like, there's a world here where like your offense, Tennessee, with 5 minutes to go about 5 or 4 minutes to go. I was like, dude, this is great. Like we've been running the ball well this second half. We've been playing well. Like this is an opportunity to go take a 4 and 5 minute drive, go down and score with 45 seconds left, a minute 20 left, like whatever, and then make Altmaier have to be one of those dudes. But yeah, no, you're right. That's why I thought that way, because it was 4 minutes to go, and I was like, this is perfect for them. But it's just funny where you live in a world where a super, super awesome play by a true freshman, you're like, damn, we scored too early. But yeah, so it was a great play. And there were some other good plays there. I saw a lot about this where I agree with this. It's something that you said, but like this was a microcosm of the season where it's self-inflicted wounds. Defense can't make a stop. In my overarching theme is like you and I, and this is where I'm very interested in your opinion. You and I like Heupel a lot. I want to say that we've given him a lot of, I don't know if leeway is the right word, but we just saw how dire it was when he took over, and then we were going to give him space and runway to go. And it was like first year I was really impressed because what he did with basically nothing. And then obviously 2022 for everyone was a magical year. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of know what happened in 23 and 24. And even as frustrated as 24 could have been, like we still made the college football playoffs. We still won 10 games. Yeah, we got blown out by Ohio State. So did a couple other teams, and they ended up winning the national championship. So it's like, yeah, year 4, you couldn't be happier with where you are. But then year 5, you go in and you're like, I'm okay if we have a down year in year 5. I'm not expecting him to be great every year or to be really good every year. That's just not realistic. Mm-hmm. But to not win a game of meaning and to have it look as bad as it did in spots, that's where it disgusted me. It was like, it wasn't necessarily the record on paper, but it was like how it looked. And that our best win this year was truly at Mississippi State or at Florida, but only because Florida in the swamp has been bad to us. Like that's the only thing that we can come away with this year that's like, hey, at least we won in the swamp. And it was a good win, But I just don't think it should look. And I'm not like jumping off the bandwagon. And I'm not saying it had to be that much different, Kyler. Truly, say if you you lose to Oklahoma, but you do beat Vandy, and then you lose this bowl game. I mean, I'm sorry. So you have your loss to Georgia, you have your loss to Oklahoma, but then you beat Vandy and you beat Illinois. Like, I mean, still a down year.
But you win 10 games.
Right. Or we'll say, I'm trying to make this scenario where we win like 9 games. So say maybe you beat Oklahoma but lose to Vandy and lose to Illinois, whatever the case may be. It just can't be 8 wins, some very ugly looking losses. You don't beat anyone good. Your best win, like I said, is at Florida or an almost win against Georgia. And that's where to me, I'm like, this is unacceptable. And last piece, because I want to hear your thoughts, I think it's unacceptable because of where college football is in nowadays. Now, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. So every staff and personnel people probably think going into the year, hey, we've built a pretty damn good squad here because you can do it with the transfer portal and NIL. Compared to last year, and you got a coach that's been somewhere forever, so we'll say Philip Fulmer at Tennessee, who's been here a while, like he probably knows, hey, this year we're probably not as in good shape as years past. Let me just try to win 9 games because I know some of these recruits that I got in or some of the young guys already on roster that they're not ready yet, they're going to be really good next year. And you kind of like you kind of have like an in-between year.
Yeah.
It's probably not fair for me to say, but I just feel like you really can't have an in-between year nowadays, which, like I said, that's a me problem. But when I know the support that Tennessee has, the money that we have, it's like how can we not have a couple big D linemen that can stop the run? How do we not have a dog-ass linebacker who can help this defense? How do we not have a playmaking safety? How can our safeties be that bad as a whole at the University of Tennessee, knowing what you had last? You see what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying because there was a major drop off in defense and defensive production from one year to the next, and you're really questioning what could have happened, and it's the reason why Tim Banks is not here anymore.
Sure, right.
That is the ultimate reason. I don't know the exact answer to it because it wasn't like that many things changed on that defense. I mean, yeah, some pretty big pieces were lost, and Jamal McCoy and some D linemen, but I agree with you that it's unacceptable. In like the Oklahoma loss was just unacceptable to me. Like that team is not good. I don't. They made the playoffs, but I still think that team is not fucking good. I don't like their quarterback at all. I think he's bad, a bad quarterback. I think Heupel is good enough as an offensive mind to beat any other team doing what he needs to do. Like, give me the best defense. I think that there are ways to figure that defense out, and Heupel should be smart enough to do that. During this game, the reason we run the ball as much as we do is because of this scenario, because people would rather us run the ball and not give up the big shot plays, but we run the ball and practice running the ball and run the ball so often because there's going to be times like this where the coach goes, you know what? I don't care if they run the ball well. I'm backing these safeties up, right? So that's why the run game is so important. But also, like, if the defense is doing that to you, why is it just, hey, we're either going to run it or we're going to drop back and throw it over the middle somewhere or give me 15-yard, 10-yard hitches? Where are my outside screens? Where are my little wide receiver bubbles? Because you know what that also does? It brings people up. It does the exact same thing that running the ball does. It brings those DBs up. They got to play a little bit closer. They're not sitting back at 10 yards. So it's like, I thought there were wrinkles of our offense that weren't necessarily used to their full advantage out there. And I do think the NIL world kind of goes towards, hey, you should be good now and you should continue to be good. At the same time, Heupel has shown a lot of interest in recruiting. He is still heavy. Hey, I'm recruiting guys out of high school to come to this, because were we not one of the teams with the most freshman players this year playing? And that's only because I'm going out and getting high schoolers. I'm not getting 20 transfers. I'm getting 5 transfers that I really like, that I think can fit. But the rest, I'm getting guys to build on. I don't know if that's the best recipe. His first couple of years, he had to go to the transfer portal. Because, like you said, dire straits when we went there that first practice. I mean, dire. He's like, I need to get guys in here. And it worked well for him. I mean, it did. It turned a massive product in 2022. But I just feel like the approach of going after the high schoolers and trying to develop them, and what this football landscape is like right now, leads towards the, okay, I'm having a down year. It'll be back. It'll be back up. Because like you go 10-2 last year, your offense wasn't that good. You depended on your defense, and you're coming in and you're like, okay, now we have our 5-star quarterback. Will develop and get better. And then he leaves. And then you've got some contention. And then your defensive coordinator isn't as good as he was. And then you're playing a lot of freshmen. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I could see how the season would end this way.
Yeah.
I could see how it could be a 8-5 season with a bowl loss.
Yeah. I've said it once. I'll say it again. Like, I was dead wrong going into this year about the defense.
Me too.
I liked coming into the season the D line, but when you think about it, Amari Thomas, who is just one of those old head, good veteran leader D linemen, Elijah Simmons, who maybe didn't produce like we'd all hoped, but like still a really good rotational piece, help stop the run, be a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Omar Norman Lott, who we love, who is a fabulous player for multiple reasons, because he's got the energy and the motor and that tenacity that you need that helps build a culture. But also he's a really good player, and he was one of the guys that gives you one of the most important things in football, and that's interior pressure. You know, everyone loves an edge guy, but if you can get to the quarterback from the interior, it's massively important. Well, he's a 2nd-round draft pick. So now you're at 3 guys right there on the interior that helped because they were really good, but it also makes Bryson Eason and Dominic Bailey better. And then you lose James Pierce, who's an outstanding football player on the edge. And it was like, when you have James Pierce as Batman, well, Joshua Joseph getting to play Robin is serious. That's serious business compared to now Joshua Joseph has to play Batman this year and hope that a Jordan Ross K. Barrett. So now that I look back on it, I was dead wrong. And their talent and their depth was huge. We thought the linebackers would be a little bit better, and I would probably say we were wrong. They were probably, again, about the same as they were. Mm-hmm. So if they're about the same, that's a loss for us that they don't improve. And then we've talked about it before, but Boo Carter was a massive disappointment in multiple ways because he wasn't very good on the field and he was a distraction. So you thought he was going to take a big step forward. He didn't. Then you got Jermon McCoy, who didn't come back, which we weren't in the building, so we don't know if that was ever viable. You don't account on Ricky Gibson getting hurt. So, like, there is a little bit of misfortune for this coaching staff. But then again, it's like, dude, you're still Tennessee. You got hopes to win a national championship. Like, you know how important depth is. What are we doing? But lastly, the safety piece on losing a Will Brooks, who now that you look at it, you thought Will Brooks was like, yeah, pretty good player. It's like, no, dude, like he was he was as good as he could be, meaning he maximized his potential, and he was a damn solid football player for us. But and this is a nice quick segue to stay on defense. But Will Brooks is a walk-on, and now you're looking at year 5 with Heupel, and we've got walk-ons rotating in still. I mean, you got Ben Bolton putting some minutes in at linebacker. You got William Wright, who was a 6-year walk-on out there playing. Like, we still have some of those guys. And no offense to those guys, but these aren't like the really cool story. It's like he came as a walk-on, and now he's like an all-SEC caliber guy. No, like he's just a walk-on that's a rotational piece. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's different.
I mean, Deshaun Bishop.
Yeah, now that one's different though. That's a walk-on who comes, earns his stripes, and like he's a really good player. It's not just like we need him because we don't have anyone else there.
I also, with your walk-on point, like if a walk-on ends up playing and starting and like doing really well, it's lucky. Like, that is just fucking lucky that the coaches ended up having this guy there. That's not skill in recruiting. That's not being able to determine a player's worth. That is coaches. When a walk-on becomes a starter, when a walk-on becomes a contributor to the team, that is lucky. That is, oh, great. Well, look what happened. Look what fell in our fucking lap. So when that happens too much, it's like, who are the guys you're recruiting? Why are all of the men that you were recruiting worse than the guy who asked to come? Who asked, hey, can I come? Because nobody wants me. Can I come be on the team? And why are the guys that you're getting down on your knees for worse than the guy who asked to be there?
Yeah. Well, and I think, and there are a difference with walk-ons. I mean, there are recruited walk-ons that they want to bring in that they might have Division I, AA, or Division II, or smaller school offers, but they want to go to UT, which is like a Deshaun Bishop. He's a hometown guy. I mean, he had Division I offers, but the walk-on thing is like it works out. It worked out for Tennessee because Tennessee just didn't bring in Deshaun Bishop as a walk-on and expecting him to do anything. Like, they're like, yeah, he's a pretty good player. We'll get him here, see what he does. But on the other side, they did bring in the number 4 running back in the nation in a Peyton Lewis, and this guy was just better. So it's like you can't fault Tennessee there. I mean, you can fault them for maybe not being better at evaluating, but that's the best evaluators in the world are like 50 or 60%, and that's at college or NFL. So that's very difficult to do. That's your like, hey, that's a win. Like, you brought the right guy in, but this guy was better. That's a win. It's not a win when a Ben Bolton, who like you think you could probably bring in a good culture guy, a good practice guy, and potentially good special teamers. Like, now he's getting run on defense. Like, that's where it's like, okay, that one might be a little bit different because you probably didn't bring him in thinking, oh, well, yeah, I've already explained what you brought him in for. So anyways, but yeah, I mean, is it just, am I unfair to think that like that stuff just shouldn't happen in year 5 with being able to go, or am I talking out both sides of my mouth saying evaluation and recruiting's always been really important, but it's even, it's always been really important. Maybe it's less important now because you can flip it on its head. If you had a bad recruiting class in 2005, well, then you can only go recruit maybe one JUCO guy. Now you can be like, hey, that Kyler Kerbyson at the University of Tennessee is a proven commodity at left tackle, and they won 8 games this year. Like, I'm going to call up at Alabama and be like, hey, Kyler, you want to come here and win a national championship, be our starting left tackle, and I'll pay you this? You see what I'm saying? So it's like evaluation recruiting has always been so important, and it's still really important now because, like, you're giving these dudes money and you have a salary cap. So if you give it to the wrong guy, you're screwed, but you can change it quicker. And so maybe that's why I'm just like, dude, this shouldn't happen. Like, this shouldn't happen because I'm driving home after watching the Illinois game, and I'm like, dude, if I'm Heupel, like, I'm so pissed as me, Reed Bacon, as a competitor. Like, I'm so pissed after losing that to Illinois. Like, my ass is, like, going to go take a shower, eat, tell my family I love them, and then I'm about to go like lock myself in a closet and just with all my guys and grind tape and be like, okay, what 3 or 4 defensive linemen can we bring in here next year that are absolute dogs? And I love listening to Kevin Simon when they have him on Sports Animal. I love listening to KSI. He calls war daddies. Like I need war daddies because, and you think about it, and this sounds terrible. What guys on defense do you feel comfortable going into next year with? Truly, if you and I are paying them, and we got to be honest with ourselves, you and I are paying this defense. Who do we feel comfortable paying next year? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it might be 3 people on my end. Honestly, 3 people.
I mean, Ty Redmond.
There's one.
Potential out of guys like Pilati and Jordan Ross are kind of those guys where I'm like, I could see some good stuff in them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I could find any of the other guys. Like I could be like, if another safety comes from another school, like cool. Yeah. If another defensive lineman comes from awesome. Another linebacker, awesome.
And and I hate that. Like I don't want that to sound bad. But for me, I'm driving home. I'm like, if I'm paying, like I'm going to pay Ty Redmond. And when I mean pay, I mean like I'm not overpaying these guys, but I'm saying like I'm cool as a Tennessee fan, as a Tennessee coach, that they're on my defense next year. Like I feel important enough to bring them back. Like I think the best way to put it, like if they hit the transfer portal as a fan, I'm not going to be bummed.
Game changers.
Yeah, but it's like Ty Redmond, Jordan Pilati, and Edwin Spillman. Like those are the 3 that like stuck out to me. They'd be like, those guys have good potential. And I like Jaden Harmon a lot based on his highlight film. So I just have a love affair with him. So I still think it's too early for him to get rid of. But it's like, but who else? Like, like Caleb Herring, like he's been here in the program now a while. Like he's had his opportunities. Like he's fine. Does he stick out to you? I mean, Jordan Ross, maybe you give him another year, but it's like, no offense. I loved Idris coming out. I still like Idris, but he's very inconsistent. He's going to make an awesome play, and he's going to duck his head. A Caleb Beasley, who's a 4-star, they recruit him at corner. I know he gets injured, but now he's at safety. Like, no offense to him, but it's like I don't really notice when 10's on the field. There's no redeeming factors. Obviously, Andre Turntime, like I'm best of luck to that young man, but like he did nothing for me all year.
Yeah. Bye.
Nothing for me all year.
Yeah. I just saw you get outrun by a white 225-pound running back. So bye. Can't have you.
What are you saying about white guys that are above 225?
They're fucking slow.
That's hey.
Mr. racing racing the teacher on his October weekend. The 100-pound teacher over there. Oh yeah, I beat her. Pulled my hamstring, but I beat her.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So, but that's just where we're at, dude. It's like, and what I was saying about where we're at now in college football, like it would be exciting to me as a competitor. I'm pissed. Like, and I put that tweet out what Heupel said. He's like, yo, I promise we're going to be back. And there's a lot of stuff about Heupel I really, really like. I still potentially would want him to be a little bit more – I want him to be himself, but I want our team to be more physical, and which is a whole nother subject too. I'm not going to dive into that yet because it's like what's really weird about this, Kyler, is if I go through each player name by name on defense, I've seen them be physical, and I've seen them not be soft, but why is it as a whole we're soft? Does that make sense? Like I've seen Idris Farouk absolutely murder people. I know he's not soft. We've talked about him. His issues ducking his head. I know Bryson Easton ain't soft. I know Dominic Beasley's not. I don't know about Jordan Ross, Caleb Herring. I probably haven't broken them down enough, like taking on edges, setting edges. I know Joshua Joseph didn't play this game, but he played in the season. He's not soft. T-Lander's not soft. Perlotti's not soft. Andre Turntime, I'm not going to call him soft, but he's not physical. But it's like most of those guys are not soft, but why is our defense as a whole soft? I
think it's inconsistency or laziness. Like, I think it's loafing, inconsistency, and just like not playing each snap the same, playing them different, being a little bit lazy on plays, not giving their absolute full effort when they can, leads to this kind of stuff. And also just like, are you using good technique? Like, are you really turning those shoulders trying to split the double teams as a 3 technique? Are you really doing it every time? Or when the guys get to you, are you like, oh shit, I've got 2 hands up. I'm going to try best I can. But both of these guys lift weights. They're both 300 plus pounds and they're moving your ass off the fucking ball. I saw a draw play where our defensive lineman is pancaked 12 yards downfield. Is that because you're soft? I don't think it's necessarily because you're soft. I think it's because you gave up on the play. I think it's because you didn't think, hey, I'm going to try and get off of this. You were just like, all right, it's over. Somebody else is tackling him. All right. And then you get your ass dumped. That's a bad mentality to have. It just is. Like, I think you need to be a killer. You need to be a war daddy, like Kevin Simon said. Like, when you're out in the field and a guy has his hands on you, you need to be like, absolutely F this dude. I hate him right now. Get your fucking hands off of me. I'm doing what I want. You're not controlling me. That's how you need to feel as a defensive player. Like, get your hands off of me. Don't fucking touch me. I'm wreaking havoc. I'm doing what I want to do. Not like once you get blocked being like, all right. No, that's what's going to end up happening. You're going to look embarrassed on film. The guy's going to drive you 12 yards downfield when you have that attitude. So, I think it could be some of that stuff. I don't necessarily know if I fault certain coaches for that, if that's what's going on, but it's kind of what you have to look to, because coaches are responsible for getting the players there, picking the players that are there. They're responsible for coaching up the players. They're responsible for giving them the proper plays to run. And it's like, it all comes back to the coaches. Like, it all comes back. Like, you brought this guy in, you trusted the process, you taught him technique, you gave him the play call, and he didn't execute. Like, it kind of goes back to you. Like, what are you doing to make sure that he executes next time? If this guy continues to not, then like, get him out. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make a change or something. You got to do something. You can't just, hey, I'll let this inconsistency slide and continue. And that's probably even harder nowadays when guys are getting paid. And you, hell, there was a lot of favoritism back when I played and guys weren't getting paid. And like, the guy was a 4-star or 5-star, and coaches are like, well, I should play him. I should play him. It's like, no, if he fucking sucks and doesn't know what he's doing, don't play him. What gives us a better opportunity to win? Yeah. That's what you should do. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to get into it on this podcast, but yeah, it's just, we got to make some good decisions.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying, as a competitor, if I'm Heupel, I'm locking myself away, and it's like, okay, these are the guys that I feel comfortable with on this roster right now moving forward. And he's lucky, man. He's lucky the NIL and transfer portal's around, because if not, he's going to be dealing with only these freshmen he just signed.
Mm-hmm.
And now he can walk in there and be like, hey, you need to leave. We can't pay you what you're making, so you're welcome to stay. But if you want to make more, you can go test your luck. And he's going to look at that salary cap, and he's going to look at it, and I'm going to be like, okay, here's my 3 D linemen or 4 D linemen I'm bringing in. Here's my 1 linebacker I'm bringing in. Here's my 2 safeties I'm bringing in. And then once I'm done defensively, it's like, okay, I'm going offense. And it's like, all right, here's my quarterback, most important position. And then, maybe sprinkle in 1 or 2 more guys here. But that defense needs a massive, massive overhaul, because I'm going to tell you what, we got a new defense coordinator. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because coaching matters, but you know what's going to make Jim Knowles look a hell of a lot better than anything is if we go get some more daddies. That's what's going to make him look a lot better. I could go be a defense coordinator next year for Tennessee. And if I have 4 or 5 NFL guys over there, I'm going to look better than I should probably. I mean, that's the most important thing, whether it's Jim Knowles or the man on the moon. You got to go find, and for me, maybe I am wrong, but I don't think it's an excuse for Tennessee not to get those guys, because in the transfer portal, most of these guys, who are proven commodities. You've watched them play at a college football level. I'm not saying all of them. Because there's plenty of guys that have been stuck on rosters, didn't get opportunities that you could go get, and maybe there is still a little bit more of that projection, that potential, but there's still dudes everywhere that you're just like, we have to be able to see that, evaluate it, be like, hey, I'm going to pluck that guy, because it doesn't have to be from a Power 4 group of 5. Like, dude, there's dudes at lower level ball all the time. I still am amazed that Jared Verse came from Albany. I'm still amazed by that. I mean, which, by the way, it still makes me sick, the fact that he could have come to Tennessee and we whiffed that. That would have been so sick to have him and Byron Young on the same team like they're now. But anyways, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I think this should be an exciting time for Tennessee, because we have been pretty good in the portal, and I think you're about to see a lot of portal activity. I think you're going to see a lot of guys gone and a lot of guys in. So I always love NFL free agency. I think it's exciting. I think we're about to see some exciting times. And very quickly, last question is like, I mean, personally, I'm a little nervous for next year for Heupel. I think if he doesn't get a big win at some point and only wins maybe 8 games, like, I think going into that next year, that seat could be extremely hot, even with him and Danny Dimes being boys. But
no, I think so. I mean, I think it could be hot if he has another year like this year, where they don't finish the bowl game, they don't beat a winning team, and it's like, okay, well, nothing's really changing. And then the 2027 year, being hot and kind of dependent on what happens that year for sure. Because, like, you see some of the guys coming in, like the quarterback, like Faison, like, that's a big get. You expect a lot out of your, top-tier offensive-minded coach. When he gets a top-tier quarterback, he's got top-tier wide receivers. It's like something should work here. I'm with you. I'm right in the same page with you. Like, I want to give Heupel grace. I want to give him time. He's brought us back to where we deserve to be, but that's just how football is now. You gotta stay consistent. I mean, it's not enough. It's just not enough. I mean, LSU just had this kind of the same year that we had, and they fired their coach.
Yeah.
After he made an SEC championship and he had a Heisman winner. We haven't done either of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and you and I speak for both of us when I say, like, we don't want to just blow coaches out. Well, I sometimes want to blow coaches out after a year or two, like with Butch here when I didn't believe in him. But that's a different story for a different time. But I want to give people – you can't just churn and burn. Especially, like, I don't want to churn and burn when I think we do have a pretty good coach with Heupel. I just need his culture to get to the level of his game day and play calling. Okay. And what I mean by the culture is the physicality and the discipline. I need that to match up with everything else, because then I think we can win a national championship at some point. So, we can wrap this up pretty quick. CFB, I'm not going to say I was wrong about Miami. Kudos to them. But once again, it's Ohio State, like another team that got put on a pedestal all year. They played 2.5 good teams, and they only won 1, and that was at home at the beginning of the year. Because I think Texas is fine, not great, not bad. Texas is better now than they were then. But, I mean, Ohio State, you played 2 good teams and you lost both of them. So, like, see you later. And other than that, I'm watching Oregon's up 3-0 on Texas Tech right now, and the rest of the games are to go. So that's all I got on CFB playoff.
Yeah, I think the Ohio State game was a little eye-opening. Also, it's just like it's a way bigger deal than people are letting on to lose your offensive play caller before the game. Like I don't think people are like, oh well, Ryan Day called plays before 2 years ago, so he'll just jump in and do that right away. And it'll be perfect. Why the hell would it be perfect? Like 2 years ago, he's not used to doing that. Hey, it's 2nd and 8. You're on the right hash. You got 35 yards to the end zone. What play call are you doing? Like immediate kind of, hey, I need you to come up with it right away. That takes practice. There's a rhythm to it. Hey, this is what I like in this down and distance at this yard line, at this hash. And to jump into it is a big ask, I think. And then, yeah, I think that was the ultimate reason why their offense couldn't do anything. They, gave points. Their offense gave points to the defense. And Ohio State was really leaning on their defense all year. Like, I loved hearing the talking heads as the season went on. Ohio State is such a good team. Ohio State's such a good team. They just haven't opened up their offense. What the fuck are you talking about? It's because their offense ain't that great. Like, what do you mean they haven't opened up their offense? They're 6 games in. Why have they not opened up their offense? Just because they thought all of their opponents were lesser than? They didn't need to open up their offense? No, they're trying, guys. They're trying to open up their offense. They can't figure it out. They got the 2 best wide receivers in the country. They're not trying to open up their fucking offense? Like, come on. Come on. They're trying to win football games. I'm trying to score as many points as I possibly can. I'm not holding back things. So, yeah, I think that was the ultimate part about it. And then today, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch all these games. I think it'll be fun. I am rooting hard for Texas Tech, Indiana.
Yeah, that one's tough, isn't it, big boy?
That one's tough.
Yeah.
I am probably just watching that one. I'm not necessarily rooting for anybody. I think Georgia will beat the shit out of them because this is a team that doesn't have a fucking head coach right now. Or the offensive mind right now. I think that's a huge fucking deal. And everyone's acting like they're the same team. I'm like, no, they're fucking not. Half of their coaches are going to Ole Miss.
They do have a head coach. Pete Golden's their head coach.
Half of their coaches are going to LSU.
Yeah, Pete Golden's
after this loss.
Yeah, Pete Golding is their head coach, and he's there. He's not an interim. So congrats. Listen, I don't like Ole Miss. People know I hate Ole Miss. I've hated Ole Miss forever. I hope Ole Miss wins. No, I can't say that. No, I can't. I hate Georgia.
You can't say it too because Lane Kiffin gets an extra $500,000 in his pocket when they win.
Really? That's not voided?
Dude, listen to fucking this. Part of his contract at LSU and their negotiation is any bonuses for LSU for Ole Miss's victories in the college football playoffs is paid by LSU to Lane Kiffin. LSU will be paying Lane Kiffin for Ole Miss's playoff victories.
Well, I listen. I think you're right. I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to worry about it because I think Georgia's going to stomp a mud hole in them. So yeah.
Well, he already got a $250,000 bonus for last week when Ole Miss beat Tulane.
It's crazy.
I mean, why do shitty people get nice things?
It's coming to him, bro. Dude, when I saw that video circulating of him leaving and not paying, just taking the basket, and he does stuff because he knows he will get attention for it. And it's like, dude, whether we agree or disagree that paying for a basket or a bag is stupid, you're going to a store, that's their rule, do it. And guess what? You make $1 bajillion. Lay a 20 on the table, say, here's your tip. I'm going to walk home with this. Have a great day. He just does shit because he's a loser and he just wants attention. He is truly a 23-year-old social media influencer, but that's a head coach. Like, that's how he acts. And so, anyways.
Yeah, don't play the dumb card of like, oh, I didn't know, so I just stole the fucking basket. What do you mean? Yeah. That's theft, motherfucker. Like, you can't do that.
I don't believe a word that man says. That he didn't know. No, he knew. He knew exactly. He could not wait to get home, and then he probably was like, "Hey, video this. Like, look what I got.
Let me get this bit."
It's insane. All right, brother. Happy New Year to everyone. I think we should maybe pop back on at least one more time, just talk about, because I think it's gonna be a wild transfer portal. So I'm cool with jumping on one more time and just seeing where things go, maybe in a week or so.
Okay. All right, brother. Great.
See you.
See ya. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. If you're listening, rate, review, download, re-download. Follow us on all those listening platforms. Follow us on social media. Everything is in the description below, so check us out there. Again, thank you guys for being the best fans in the world. And as always, go Vols.